One of the biggest misunderstandings about awakening is that it answers life's questions. And in my experience, it doesn't. And that's not a failure. It's the point. What awakening reveals to you really is what you are not. More than anything else, it's not that it shows you who you are. It shows you who you aren't. It makes you become aware of your true nature. And that shows you that your true nature isn't your thoughts, isn't your mind, isn't your sense of location. It loosens your identity. What it really exposes is how the mind creates, how the mind always looks for something to do, always looks for a job, always looks for comfort, always looks for satisfaction. That's why you confuse sometimes you're needing and wanting to find out answers. It's not actually you. It's your mind. This is what awakening shows you. The constant need to search for something because that's its function. Its function is to stay active constantly. That's why you will never get to the bottom of what you're looking for. You will never find what you're seeking by constantly asking questions. It shows you that you aren't the one that's asking the questions. And when you see that clearly, you see that your whole life, your whole story has been created by this function, by this mechanism. You, as you believe you are, your avatar, has been created by your mind. And of course you're going to believe it. Of course you're going to identify with it. No one sees the difference between themselves and their thoughts and their mind. They just act according to how they think, because that's what they think they are, their thoughts. That's what you think you are, your thoughts. But you're not. Awakening brings intimacy with experience, not with conclusions. And it doesn't give you new beliefs. It takes certainty away. It takes the need to believe anything away. The need to know anything away. It doesn't tell you how to live. It doesn't remove grief, fear, love, frustration. It doesn't remove any of the human emotions. At first, it can definitely appear like this, because you see that you are beyond all of those things. But seeing that and understanding that after integration is what allows you to feel all of those things deeper, more intimately. And it doesn't give you answers about death. It doesn't explain death, purpose, or destiny. It doesn't replace being human. Awareness doesn't speak in answers. It allows experience to speak for itself. There's a subtle trap that can happen after an awakening. I've even observed these traps, or fell for these traps. And what can happen is your mind can start to turn insight into identity, can build a new avatar, a new you based on your new perspectives. And one thing I want to touch on gently is that your mind can use silence as a form of superiority after awakening. You might feel like you know more than other people. You might feel like you've experienced something and you have an edge over someone else. You now can correct them when they speak. You are not more awakened if you do this. This is a subtle trap. Your mind is trying to create, not on purpose, but because that's its function, to keep itself active, to keep trying to create comfort zones. One thing that I did for a long time, is I mistakenly thought emptiness and nothingness was it. That's what infinity was. That's what completion was. It's not correct. That's one end of the spectrum. There are people that will speak from this place. That's how I used to speak, from the emptiness, from the nothingness. That is one end of the spectrum of infinity. There is a fullness, there is a wholeness, there is a connectedness where nothing is empty and everything is connected. There's another trap, and it's when you start to avoid life, avoid human life because of your new perspective, and you quietly set yourself apart. There's nothing wrong with any of these things. These are things that have gone through my mind. These things are natural. But it's not full embodiment. It's not full integration. It's not full acceptance of the totality of infinity. Avoidance of life is not what it's about. You are here as a human, experiencing human life. Do not avoid human life. I'm not here trying to blame anyone. I'm not here saying anyone is wrong. These are all different paths. I'm just giving you my observations based on my understanding and my clarity and my perspective. From my point of view, because I've been down all of these roads, I've come to understand that there is no goal, there is no completion, there is nothing to understand. Emptiness, fullness, connectedness, loneliness, it's all allowed. It's all just to be felt. And I allow that through the human. I allow that whilst being human. Being a father, being a husband, being a son, working, washing dishes. Everything is allowed. You are allowed. Nothing needs to be steered. Nothing needs to be controlled. Because confusion often happens when people expect awakening to finish something. There's nothing to finish. And what awakening revealed for me wasn't about escaping being the human. It was the space to be human without clinging, without resistance. And if something in you expected answers and none arrived, if you noticed that no answers arrived, that noticing might be the most honest thing here.